we have a short time here on earth. And if you don't utilize the skills and talents that God has given you, then really you're accomplishing nothing. There's not going to be a U-Haul behind my casket carrying my assets. There's nothing. So I have to utilize the assets, whatever they may be, to glorify God, because there's only one that we look to, and that's Jesus Christ. The rest of it, you just do what you're called to do.
When you think of Lafayette, Indiana, you probably think of the Purdue Boilermakers, basketball, agriculture. This is the heart of the Midwest and the home of a church that has been a faithful presence in this community for nearly a century.
My name's John Thompson. I've been with River City since the late 70s.
My name's Ron Clark, and I've been with the church approximately 30 years.
I met a gentleman here in church who was a big missions guy, big giver, and I bought into that idea to say, hey, I want to change the world through raising money and through giving my time to tell others and to be part of something that was much bigger than myself.
When we think about marketplace people engaging in ministry, we usually think about writing checks. And that's important. Money fuels ministry. But what happens when believers in the marketplace engage with their whole lives, their business creativity, with all of their God-given gifts and talents?
Ron and John, they'd had a long history, predated my tenure at the church, of being eager to find ways to give to God's kingdom, to give to endeavors that made a difference. But almost immediately, I felt like something that I could bring to the church was an outward-focused ministry vision.
That vision was a community center, a hub of daily life and activity where the church could naturally engage and help meet the needs of their neighbors, a place where the church can be the hands and feet of Jesus in the lives of others every day.
Since the pandemic, 71% of our community doesn't go to church anywhere. 71%. Part of what the church has had to do everywhere where there's been like a drop in an interest in the church is the church needs to find ways to incarnate itself into its communities and offer things that are of interest to people and that are important to people so that people can see the value of a church. That's really hard for many people. First couple of years that I was here, 4 different individuals, very spiritual people, I guess I'd say, came to me and they said that they had been walking around this property over here, that God had given them the clear indication that we were going to own this property someday.
Years went by, and that dream remained just a dream. Then an unexpected phone call changed everything.
One of my business partners at the time, Ron Clark, got a call from the local realtor and said, hey, if ever you're going to buy that, right now is it. The bank is wanting to move it. So we literally jumped in that day.
Our ultimate goal at that point in time was to make this facility a cash flow facility that it was no burden on John and I or the church. So then when it came time to actually give it to the church, it was not a negative asset. It was a positive asset that was cash flowing.
So Ron and John did what they had done countless times. They secured a piece of real estate, stabilized it, and prepared it for its new future. But in this case, they began to dream with their church about how their investment and the church's vision could come together.
Initially, as I remember, the plan was that we were going to buy it from them after a certain period for the same amount they bought it for. But the longer they looked at it, they could see there was a tax advantage to fixing certain things, holding on to it for a certain amount of time, reappraising it, and then donating it to the church.
So at that point, my business partner Ron and I went to a real estate lawyer and said, hey, we want to buy this building. We want to get this place up and running, and then in a year or two, once it's running, we want to donate it to the church. And at that point, I think his head was going to explode.
Their entrepreneurial instincts took over. They devised a creative plan to donate the property to the church rather than sell it. The donation of the appreciated asset created a tax deduction for their businesses and provided the church with an asset at no cost to help build a bridge into their community.
The church needs bridges into it. It needs a way for people who are not in the church to be able to connect with the church and to find a way to it. I thought this property could maybe be that kind of thing. We just said, what is it that our community most needs?
The River City Community Center offers a wide variety of services that the people in the community said they needed, from grief support groups, a food pantry, and senior services, to a STEAM academy that embeds science, technology, engineering, art, and math into traditional preschool education. There's a full-service auditorium and banquet hall, as well as an indoor play place for kids, and multiple rooms that can be utilized for corporate or personal events.
The community center opened on June 1st, 2019, and we had like a reception here. I remember in particular, the mayor stood up and we're surrounded by all these people from our community. He looks at me and he goes, you know, Pastor Bradford, he'd been telling me for a long time that this was gonna happen. I didn't believe that it would ever happen. And he's like, but here it is. That moment was worth it all because he was speaking for our community in so many ways. And it really is a surprising thing that's happened here.
The marketplace belongs to God. The gospel redeems and resurrects all things. Business was always intended to be part of God's kingdom work in the world. And kingdom people just think differently. When we hold a posture of yes to Jesus, He gives us creativity others may not have. What skills or abilities are in your hand that God can use creatively for His purposes in the world?
You don't start out with a project like this. You start out very small and realize that what God's called you for. We have a short time here on earth, and if you don't utilize the skills and talents that God has given you, then really you're accomplishing nothing. There's not going to be a U-Haul behind my casket carrying my assets. There's nothing. So I have to utilize the assets, whatever they may be, to glorify God and not do it in an arrogant way and not let people know what you're doing, because there's only one that we look to, and that's Jesus Christ. The rest of it, you just do what you're called to do.
I have met people on a Sunday morning who have come to church and they're ending up giving their lives to Christ. And I'll say, how did you find us? And they'll say something like, I was at a coin show at the community center and I thought, wow, the church does something like this. I gotta see what that church is like.